I grew up I went to like a small private Christian school, and I think in like 8th grade I was in the choir and started doing music in school, and I think that initially kind of like woke something up inside of me to pursue music, and having like the encouragement from my teachers to sing, and I remember doing like solos and stuff, and that really intrigued me to want to that made me really interested in like pursuing music as like a career. So yeah, I think like starting in school, singing in the choir, that helped me like gain confidence in becoming a songwriter eventually. I think being on The Voice really helped me to kind of embrace who I was as an artist. Before, I'd been doing music for a long time, but I think The Voice gave me that like affirmation and confirmation that music is what I was supposed to do and is what I'm supposed to do, and it helped me kind of learn to like stay in my lane, because I'm sure, as you know, if you guys watch The Voice, like there's all sorts of different voices and artists, and the show really taught me that it's important to stay in your lane because each genre of music is important and it's needed, and I don't need to change or manipulate my voice to be anything other than what it is. And that's what I learned, and so I think that really helps me, and that's a lesson for a lot of artists to really embrace, is that it's important to stay in your lane and get good at that and like hone in on what you're good at. Yeah, because we don't need a lot of like repeats. It's nice to have something new and something fresh, and so that's what I learned, is just to kind of to be who I was and to own that, and I think that that has really helped me to get to where I'm at today. For me, I guess when I say stay in my lane, I mean like vocally, I wasn't on the show trying to be a huge, big gospel voice, because that's not what I do. But genre-wise, I do think this EP kind of crosses different boundaries. You can hear a little bit of Americana, you can hear a little bit of like country and pop, but I tried to blend all that in because that's all my favorite stuff. And I don't like to be boxed in as like, oh, she's country or she's pop, this is all you can do. I don't like being boxed in any facet of my life. So I think that kind of came through with this EP, is that each song kind of takes you on a different journey sonically, but that's what I like. That's what I like in music. I don't want to just hear the same thing on one record. But this EP is the same producer, so everything kind of ties in. It's cohesive, but it also blends in like the different styles that I like, which I think, like, who says you can't do that? So I have been writing since I was 18. I put out an EP when I was 18, so like 2007, I think that would make sense. And then I put something out in, let's see, 2010 and then 2014. So I had been doing music, and then The Voice kind of, I wanted to stop though, because I was getting older, nothing was really working out. I had lived in LA for a few years as a songwriter, and I was working with a publishing company. That didn't work out, and I just kind of felt defeated. But then that show kind of gave me like a second chance, and like kind of like started a new fire within me to like do music again, and gave me a little taste of what it would be like to really like go after it. And I just was like, I have to do music. Like, I always knew it, but it confirmed in me that that's what I'm gonna do. So I think though, as far as like to answer your question, did I start writing? I started kind of writing more true to how I think I was supposed to write. I think I was scared to say things maybe a few years before The Voice, or scared to write a certain way, or scared to be honest in my lyrics. I think this EP is the most honest stuff I've ever written, and it's the stuff that I'm most proud of because it's my story, it's who I am, and I think it really captures that. So yeah, I think it's not that I just started writing, but it's that I feel like I just started being like very honest, and that's super important, I think, as a songwriter. Every time I write, it is mostly me and the guitar. So it is pretty bare boned. And I co-wrote a few of these songs. One with Robin Hedlund, that was the duet that's on my album, and that one was As It Is. That's how we had it. And the only thing I changed was when I got really interested in this device called the OP1, which is just like a little, kind of like a synth thing. It's super nerdy, but it adds all these like cool sounds and stuff, and I was playing with that, and that's like the only thing we added to it, which I love that it literally, we played it in the studio like twice, and that's what you're hearing. So we didn't want to mess with it, we didn't want to manipulate it, We didn't want to add anything like that. It just is what it is. And so I love that song for that reason. The other songs, like Find Your Love, that was the most different song I've ever done. That was the first single I put out. I started playing that one on the electric guitar, and it had some like different effects on it, so it kind of made it seem like ambient. And then I kind of told my producer, I was like, this is what I'm hearing. Like, I was very inspired by the band The War on Drugs, and so I was like hearing all this different, like, I don't know, I wanted the guitar to take us places and it to feel kind of like the psychedelic thing, and it kind of does that in the song. We actually had to like cut some of it down because it ended up being like 5.5 minutes long. So we were gonna add that. We might still release the extended version eventually, but yeah, I mostly knew what I wanted the songs to sound like, but they were very bare bones before we got in the studio, and then we ended up kind of like piecing things together as we went along. I played South by Southwest this year, and I can't even remember how many showcases I did. Probably like 3 or 4. I think when you're there, you're trying to do so many different things, and we got to play, did a lot of interviews, and then we played outside of town a little bit. My favorite one though that I do remember is called the Red Shed Tavern. That ended up being so much fun, and met some great artists and some new fans, and that was really fun getting to play in front of people that I had never played in front of before. And it was just a good experience. Like, just the interviews were fun, and like talking about The Voice was fun. I also got to play with some people from The Voice, so it was a cool experience all in all. And I plan on being back in LA in July. So the first part of July I'll probably be out here playing more shows, and then more tour dates to come with the new EP. So be on the lookout for that.